All right, Chelsea fans, welcome back to the London is Blue podcast YouTube channel. This is a clip from our Everton preview. That's right. So pre-Everton, we looked at how Everton doing in the league. Not great, spoiler alert. And then we also talk about what Chelsea can do to counteract them. We predict some starting 11s. We predict why Chelsea could win, why Chelsea could drop points, even score predictions, which are wildly inaccurate. But hey, we go for it. So if you like this, go check out the entire podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, app, Google Store. Anyway, anywhere you get a podcast, you can find us. So if you like this video, please like it, comment. And if you like us as people, maybe you'll even subscribe. So until next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high. All right, over to Chelsea side. So we did get a little bit of an update, Nick. No new injuries, which is good, but we still have the two existing injuries, don't we?
No new friends. Cho and Ziyech out for another 2 weeks ish.
It's like a rolling update.
Yeah, you don't really know with those types of injuries. It was interesting that Lampard gave a time period at all because, I didn't know that Callum was hurt. Maybe I missed that at some point. Maybe he was training or something.
It was the hamstring issue in training that prevented him from starting against Krasnodar, which now puts him out of contention for this weekend's match.
So there's that. And then Pulisic apparently felt his hamstring after Leeds, which is exactly where you want to be if you're Chelsea Football Club. So, we all knew that this was going to be a difficult period. If you could make it through this relatively unscathed from an injury perspective, this crazy December and into January, it would be a miracle. Clearly, Everton have had some issues, and they have issues currently. But it would seem like we should have most of our pieces available, which is good. Just kind of see how the front couple work.
We had a good amount of rest, I think, Dan, in Krasnodar, a lot of changes that were made. Mm-hmm. So now, and it was obviously a home match. So thankfully didn't have to go to Russian back this time, which anytime you don't have to go to Russian back midweek is a big win. The only travel we have to do is to go up to the Liverpool area. So if you want to start us off with your predictions for the lineup, and again, I think we should say this is the lineup prediction that you want to see in order to beat Everton. So maybe talk through why you think this is the right setup to face a struggling Everton side.
Well, when you take out Ziyech and Callum Hudson-Odoi, it kind of helps create and craft that front three for you. But I don't think there's going to be any disagreement that the back five, the winning back five, is going to be changed at this point. It's Mendy, James Silva, James Silva, Zuma, Chilwell, Conte, Mount. I think Havertz ends up playing, from what the comments were from Lampard about Havertz being a player that needs to play to get into a groove and to find himself. And then I think Pulisic, Giroud, and Werner start as the front three. Just that seems like it's going to make the most sense to me in terms of the only pivot potentially, Nick, is maybe if you want to put Kovacic in there, maybe instead of having, if you're worried about Pulisic's injury and kind of aggravating himself, you'd rather him be a super sub, maybe put Kai on the right wing. That's the only other thing that I think could potentially happen. Otherwise, I would expect Lampard to roll his lineup out.
Yeah, so I had pretty much the lineup that you had, but I opted for a little bit more of a defensive midfield with back five intact, Conte, Kovacic, Mount as the 10. And then I had Pulisic, Giroud, and Werner. Now, I think your point about, Pulisic potentially feeling his hamstring, do you just rest him and hope that he can play every other week at this point? I don't know. If Pulisic is out, I opt for Havertz on the wing and Werner back on the left. So I would have, in my lineup, I'd have Pulisic on the left, Werner on the right, Giroud in the middle. That would seem like a really good lineup. But if Pulisic cannot play, Brandon, I go with Werner on the left, Giroud in the middle, and Havertz on the right.
Is it as easy for me to just say the usual at this point?
See, the usual has changed a little bit, though, because Ziyech would be in the usual.
Yeah, probably, right? I think...
Yes, no, he would.
Yes.
Hey, all right. You
Turns
keep
out
to
he's
your
quite
own
good.
usual side of the street. All right. We got my usual over here.
See, this is when you pick on me again.
Oh my gosh. Please.
We are so sorry, Dan. Oh my God.
We know it's a 4-3-3. We know who the back five are. Set, done, check, easy. Obviously, Havertz coming back from his illness, to you guys' point, there's a little bit of, can he go again? Does he need some rest? Is this the right match for him? Because he is a special type of player, that likes to operate with space. He's learning to play quicker, so he gets, off the ball sooner. He's getting caught in possession a little bit right now. So N'Golo Kante, Mason Mount, done, locked in. So like you said, if you're able to, I think against, Everton, you want to kind of match them because they have James in front of Doucouré and Allen, right? So they're in more of a defensive setup from the beginning. So that way their front four can go attack. So if you can put a creative attacker up front, ideally that is what you do. And so again, I would love to see Havertz in there so he can unlock that defense and find those passes. And from there, you got to play Pulisic, but it scares the hell out of me. I've been there where I feel my hamstring, right? It's tightened. Your range of motion isn't there. You know that it needs some love in TLC. So he's had a few days to get the massages. I'm sure he's been foam rolling, using the Theraguns, trying to loosen it up. But at the end of the day, what he has to do on the pitch is so demanding.
What are we trying to get sponsored by Theragun here? What are we name dropping?
Would love
treatments?
it. I think you all know I have one, so would love that official recovery sponsor of the podcast because we pod so much, we need help recovering. So I'm just worried, right? And we know he's soft muscle injury prone already. Why risk it? But if you don't go him, it changes your entire lineup. Not having a Pulisic, Ziyech, and Cho, it kind of smashes it. So I'm going to pull Pulisic. I'm going to play Werner, Tammy, Giroud. No, I'm kidding. You can't do that. But this is the pick you get into. I'm saying so. You're back to having Mount go out on the wing, and it imbalances your midfield. So since you have to put Mount out on the wing, because I don't want to risk Pulisic. You can have Tammy and Werner with him. And you've got a Kovacic, Havertz, and N'Golo Kante midfield.
I was thinking too. There's another wing scenario that could happen if you're
like a Marcos.
No, frankly, no. That ship has sailed. I used to have a friend who's always joked around that train has sailed. Anyway, that's stupid. The other wing scenario would be Azpilicueta at right back and Reece James at right wing.
I think so if you want to talk about like just variables,
Dan, bully, you just told him no.
I think Andrew played really well. I think Frank mentioned that he is going to get opportunities to participate, and if there is an injury concern, you also wouldn't potentially be surprised to see him as a bench player in this match. Just like you might not be surprised if a Billy Gilmore is on the bench, particularly if Kovacic were to start with Kante and if Havertz plays further forward, then you would see someone like maybe Billy comes in and spells Kante or Kovacic later in the match too.
I would fully expect him because you've had Emerson and Alonso on the bench. Like you don't need two left backs. So I do. I think you could absolutely see Billy. I think that was his spot. We just didn't have enough people healthy, so Frank just kind of put whoever's in. I think I need to mast my striker pick to the flag post though. I am going Giroud over Tammy is my starter.
It makes sense. It's the rotation that has been reestablished. Right?
Yep, and again with Everton, right? They sit in a little bit. It gives you that target presence. He's going to look to lay off the ball. But again, he's just in such fine form. I didn't like how you guys picked him, and I just wanted to make sure that I got a little loose.
He wanted
there.
to go on record.
Yeah.